Greetings, your mum here. No, the Astro 30 here. I'm just going to do a pretty simple video today. I was looking on my hard drive and I found this bass power amplifier for bass guitar. It's a circuit I found online years ago and it's been sitting in my hard drive folder for God knows how many years, quite a long time. It's a pretty simple looking amplifier. It's not that complicated. It's a class AB, simple push-pull. These are 2 Darlington transistors, by the way. However, I'm wondering if I can make some modifications to this to run on a lower voltage and also use 2 MPN output devices such as TIP 35Cs, for instance. I've got stacks of them lying around. And well, I don't really need this VBE multiplier. I can just use 2 simple diodes. See if that works. Save a bit of component count here. Now this variable resistor down here is to adjust the halfway voltage point at the positive plate of this capacitor C7. So if there was 20 volts coming in, we want to see 10 volts measured here whilst adjusting this. This is just a simple class A amplifier. There's also a VAS, or voltage amplification stage, with some emitter bypassing here. With this VBE multiplier, the original guy that did this is looking for around about 35 mA current draw on the output stage. This resistor and this resistor is a resistive divider going across this capacitor, which is on the output with a negative plate. That's a bootstrap circuit. And this path through here, through this variable resistor that adjusts the halfway voltage point, also forms part of the negative feedback back to the input stage. So let me show you what I'm planning on doing. So this is my redrawn schematic. I'm going to use 2 1N 4004s, standard, diode string for biasing, and 2 MPN output devices. I'm going to keep the degeneration resistors where they are. I shouldn't have to move that one to the emitter. I don't think I have to do. And all I've done is just reverse the emitter connection around so the current flow is correct. So it should work. I'm going to use a TIP 41C for the VAS driver here. Now, this will either work or be a total, complete failure. But it makes for a good video. So I'm wondering if I can use 100 picofarad here because I don't have a 33. But let me breadboard this up and mount these 2 transistors to a heatsink and etc. And we'll see if we can actually get this to do something. Okay, so about 2 hours later I've got it built. I took my time. The layout's a bit messy. I'm using a 100k trim pot here because I don't have a 50k one, but it's a multi-turn one, so it'll be a lot easier to set the halfway voltage point. I'm using 0.22 ohm 2 watt resistors as the degeneration resistors because that's all I've got. Got my lab supply still in pieces sitting there, sitting at 9 volt or 9.1 volt currently, and the multimeter connected between the 2 resistors and ground to measure the DC voltage at the output. So it's either going to work or it's going to fail. So I'll turn the load on and see what happens. Interestingly, we've got 1.1 volt there. So far so good. So let me just make sure that that's not getting hot. That's good. That's not getting hot. That's good. Let's see what happens when I turn the trim pot. If I can get the screwdriver in there, that'd be nice. Not much currently that direction. And well, not surprisingly, that trim pot's doing nothing. Right, well, I've been dicking around with this for 2 hours and I've tried everything I can think of, and I did manage to get it to adjust to the halfway point by changing the 4K7 there to a 47K. We indeed are getting an output, but it's no higher than 1.6 volt peak to peak, which is practically useless. The output stage has been changed to TIP 41 and 42C respectively. It does not like 2 MPNs. I tried a BD139 as the main amplifying device, but it just, yeah, it's just crap. Well, anyway, I've hooked it up to a speaker because, well, I can. And by the way, my power supply is at its maximum voltage of 20 volts, and it's only putting around about 2 out. No unusual noise. Well, it is doing something. I really don't trust the accuracy of that current meter because it's not really giving me a valid current reading. I want to know how much current that so-called output stage is drawing. So I might hook up a 100 ohm resistor in series with this and measure it. Okay, got the multimeter hooked up across a 100 ohm resistor across the positive of the rail. Alright, we've got, let's see, let that settle down. Okay, you divide that by 100, we're looking at around about 8 MA. It's a little borderline low, but okay, well, we know what the current draw is. That transformer smells sweet and nice, like sugar and spice. Anyway, starting to get a bit warm. I've got the audio input hooked up to my laptop. Let's have a listen to some shit. God, that song is annoying. Yeah, okay, it works. Just not very well. Probably work better at a higher voltage, but what I'm going to have to do is I'm probably going to have to rebuild this circuit Probably going to need a driver stage before output transistors for it to work correctly. And in the meantime, I might go back in time to 1955 when things were all fine. Seriously. Yes, I don't know why it's not putting out any more voltage than 2 volt peak to peak. I mean, we've got 18.9 going in, so your guess is as good as mine. As I said, this would either be a working amplifier or it would be a complete disaster. It's not really a disaster, but it's not really working the way I wanted it to. It doesn't like the TRP41C as the main amplifying transistor. BD139 works fine. So yeah, that's where that's at. Alright, so there's the changes to the schematic. TRP41C, TRP42C, so NPN, PNP as it should really be. Might change those to BD139 and 140 respectively as drivers, and then use a Darlington output. It may or may not make a difference, but I haven't changed anything else here. Everything's all the same. That's actually a 1 mega ohm pot, but I mean 100 would work, but the 100 feels really loose when you're turning it, so yeah, it's probably just a crap pot. 100 picofarad works there fine instead of the 33. So, oh, and the input capacitor is A2U2 because it was the only thing I had that was rated at 63 volt. But if anyone's got any suggestions or ideas, please put them down below in the comments. But what I might do is rebuild this, but I probably might build it up on Veriboard just for simplicity, because doing it on this is a pain in the ass. I think I've got all the input components right. I just haven't got the output components right. I don't know, I might leave it on the breadboard and just mess around and move things around, put some drivers here and here, and then I'd have to move the biasing diodes to there. But yeah, whatever, I'm sort of like just talking bullshit right now. So that's what I propose to do, is use BD139 and 140 respectively as drivers into TIP35C and 36C respectively. Everything else is the same. So we could try that and see what difference it makes, if any. But I don't have the components to do this with at the moment, so I'm going to have to go buy them. Anyhow, let's end this video now, shall we? So anyway, leave your comments down below, and I'm going to leave this video here, but if you enjoyed it, please remember to rate, comment and subscribe below, and you can always follow me on Facebook and become a Patreon member for as little as $1 a month. Anyway, this is the Asher saying, see ya, have a great day. Not a complete and utter failure, but not quite working as I would have expected.